Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sankar and I'm going to show you how to make some really cool YOI bases, sort of like Zomboy style inside of Pigments. So without talking much longer, let's go into our DAW and get started with this tutorial. So here in FL Studio, I'm going to load here an instance of Pigments. Go here into new preset. And we're in the basic patch here. We have a wavetable. You can choose and start searching for a wavetable. I found that this one was really nice. And before continuing, I just noticed the camera is a bit weird. But before we continue with this patch, we need to do a little bit of prep inside of FL Studio, and at least in my case, I have an Arturia keyboard. The mod wheel doesn't work with the current FL Studio script that I have, so if you don't know about scripts, you should definitely read a bit more about that. But I need to go here into our remote controls. I'm going to choose mod wheel here, and I'm going to move the mod wheel in my controller, and now, as you can see here, the mod wheel is being moved with my input of the mod wheel here in my controller. So now I'm going to route the mod wheel here into the wavetable position, sort of halfway there, 50%. And now when I play a key, I'm modulating it with the mod wheel, so it's really useful. I'm going to create here so I can start editing. Now, something very important that we need in our YOI is 3 essential things. So now we covered our first one, which is our oscillator. Our second thing that we need that is very important is our low pass filter with some really high resonance. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go from that very deep low resonance here cut off. I'm going to add here a wavetable position. And now I'm going to add some bit crusher, which is our third step into making a YOI base. And adjusting the downsample basically adjusts the tone of the YOI bass. If you want a bit of a brighter tone, then you decrease the downsample. If you want more of a darker tone, you increase the downsample. We can add some multiband compression or some OTT, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to automate the resonance of this as well. We can add some distortion, which always sounds great. And now we can create a automation here. I'm gonna right click here, create automation, And since I was moving the mod wheel on FL Studio, as the last input that I touched, it says here Pigments MIDI CC number 1, which is modulation, which is what we want. And I'm going to create we can add some post-processing, some really useful post-processing on this, of course, is some OTT with like some bright OTT. We can turn down the upward and it cleans up a little bit the patch. I want to remove some of that muddy tone, which is in the low mids. So I'm going to go here at around 100, 200 hertz. I'm going to remove some of those high mids, which are a bit too present. And some mid, just to clean up the patch a little bit, some high end as well. Just cutting instead of adding, just to clean up and give presence to the frequencies that I actually want. And now I'm going to boost the volume by adding some saturation. So in this case, it's Fat Filter Saturn. And now we can go back into Pigments. We can go here into our FX tab. And now we can play with the downsample and change the tone of the Bit Crusher. And that's basically the essential of a YOI bass. You can then go and start playing around with different wavetables to see different tones. Wavetables that work very well with YOI basses are very harmonically rich wavetables. So for example, a growl wavetable will work perfectly on a YOI patch. A saw wave, for example, would work marvelously well, as well as a square. We can search again. Let's see Pigments 3. Let's see if we can find maybe an FM patch. And then we can clean up this patch a little bit more by adding a high pass after all the posts. We can add a sub bass to this, being controlled here by the mod wheel. We can add some chorus to add some more dimension. As well as some flanger. Maybe some fast. You can really start expanding and experimenting with these kinds of basses once you actually have the fundamental, which is really important when making these kinds of basses. Having a solid fundamental and then experimenting and expanding from there, which is really what makes your sound unique. Experimenting, changing things around, and finding something that feels right to you. So anyways, this was Soundkiller. Thank you guys for watching this really simple YOI bass tutorial. As always, like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out, believe it or not. And leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see next. Anyways, this was Soundkiller. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.